Welcome back. Now, the ongoing power cuts continue to be a concern. A Democratic Alliance delegation has been denied access to the Kusile power station today. The party is demanding answers from management at the station. Now, a few weeks ago, Kusile reported serious damage to one of its chimneys and cannot operate at full capacity. eNCA's Heidi Giokos is following that story for us, and she joins us now in studio. Heidi, of course, this also is something that South Africans would want answers to. We'd want to see exactly what's happening at these power stations, because every day there's a generating unit that is tripping, etc. But the DA, what did they tell you? Did they make plans? Did they get authorization to be there?
Yes, according to the leader of the DA, John Steenhuisen, he says that there was a request to go and visit Kusile Power Station. They had asked a couple of days ago, and they had been told that they would be allowed access, as they are members of parliament, and they would be allowed into the power station. One must remember that it is a national key point, so you would need to get pre-approval to get into that power station. But according to John Steenhuisen, he says that even yesterday his team went to the power station, spoke to the manager there, and the manager did indicate that they would be allowed to go inside. But what's interesting is that when we went afterwards to the power station to just get access, to get some visuals, we were told that no manager gave them authorization, and that they were only told that it was only just a meet and greet. But according to John Steenhuisen, he says he spoke to Eskom, he spoke to all involved, and he says as soon as they got there this morning, they were blocked off and told that they are not allowed access inside. And he says, according to him, this is a clear indication that the government is trying to hide something, and there are serious issues at Kusile. We know that there are issues at Kusile, but it would have been a little bit better if we could have had access to it and just gotten some answers as to what exactly is going on. But we got a chance to speak to the DA. We actually got him outside on the side of the road because he had already left the power station. Let's listen to what he told us.
Well, we were told that we weren't allowed in because you've got to go through the minister's office to be able to get access to this. The very minister we're trying to hold accountable. I wish the minister was as energized and exercised and efficient at dealing with this crisis as he is in preventing the leader of the official opposition, a constitutional office bearer, from having access to one of the reasons why our country has plunged into stage 4 or 5 load shedding, and why we're sitting in this crisis today. This morning, there was a barricade of security officers which wouldn't even allow us up the road to get there. So clearly there is something to hide here at Kusile. They clearly don't want the opposition here. And if there was nothing to hide, I would have thought that Minister Godon and others would have welcomed the opportunity for us here to come back and go back to the people that we represent, to let them know exactly what's going on, because government is literally keeping the people of South Africa in the dark.
So Heidi, maybe the issue here was what was planned to do, because you mentioned a meet and greet, and that seemingly is what was agreed on, etc. What exactly did John Steenhuisen say they wanted to do there? Did they want to have a walkabout with the media there? Did they want to have a meeting where they are asking tough questions to the management while the media sits there?
Yes, so that's according to our understanding. They were going to have a meeting beforehand with the management of Kusile Power Station, do their walkabouts, come out afterwards and engage with the media and say, this is what we found, and just give an update on what was seen at Kusile Power Station. But that, of course, did not happen. I must just emphasize that we have reached out to the Department of Public Enterprises to ask them as to whether or not they did give access to the DA to do this walkabout. It's important to understand that it's not just the official opposition in this country, it's also members of parliament that want access to Kusile Power Station. So hopefully they will be able to get into the power station when they attempt to do so again. But John Steenhuisen saying that this has piqued his interest, because he says, why would he be denied access if there was nothing to hide? And we do know that Kusile is problematic, Masejo. We do know that there are 6 generating units there and only 4 are currently working. Earlier this year, they were only putting the 4th one online. How can you have 6 generating units and only 4 are working in a country where there's an energy crisis? And the DA is saying that the president is not in the country. The deputy president, according to the DA, is also not in the country. And he says that somebody needs to answer, and he says this is why he wants to move in, to understand, because it's almost like South Africans have just accepted load shedding and said, well, this is our new way of life, when that should not be the case.
All right, Heidi. Well, we'll see. Since you say that he said it's piqued his interest, we'll see what his next step is, and hopefully we'll find out along with him what is happening at Kusile Power Station.